Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, so yesterday we finished 8th chapter talking about different obstacles, and then we moved to 9th chapter, which was meditation. And what we talked about is the fact that generally people think that meditation is a technique, and meditation is only successful when you are able to have no thoughts, right, for a time being. But this is not Vedanta meditation. Vedanta meditation has multiple steps. The first step of that meditation is that you just familiarize yourself and reconnect with your body, right? Because sometimes we are not connected, and body is a very intelligent organism. It constantly gives you feedback, but we keep shutting it, right? And we are not aware of it. So to establish this friendly, kind relationship with your body and awareness of the body is something which is very important. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to kind of get the mind to be little quiet, and that is what watching the breathing. Then the third thing that we do is do the japa with a quiet mind. So there are two problems in our preparation. One is we project things which are not there, that is distortion, and the other is distraction. Distraction means our mind keeps moving from one thing to the other. It's not able to sufficiently focus on things and look into things in depth, which is why very often you see that everybody's knowledge is on surface. You scratch that knowledge a little bit, and then there are logical flaws in the thinking, there are projections which people don't detect. So you want the mind to have depth, and for that depth, focus is required. And how do you get focus? So there is this practice of mantra chanting. So what we saw is mantra chanting is a very powerful way to get your mind. It is multi-dimensional, what it can do. First is you give a task to your mind that for next 10 minutes chant the mantra. And that's when you recognize that you can't get your mind to do what you want it to do even for 10 minutes, right? That's a huge revelation. That it's not even with me, it does its own thing. And what you do is gently, without pressure, without telling, oh, you're distracted. So we are trying to be kind to ourselves, and at the same time, we are trying to evolve. Both things we have to keep in mind. You have to evolve, but at the same time, you have to do it gently in a nurturing manner and not with pressure. So then whenever the mind goes out, instead of criticizing us, oh, I can't meditate, oh God, this is distraction, now I have to bring it back. Not with that, but it's natural for the mind to move, but I gently bring it back. And that practice over a period of time, what it will do is the mind will become focused. The mind will become focused. It's able to stay with a given thing without getting distracted. That's the first benefit. The second benefit is not only the mind moves, but it builds stories. It can't just move randomly. And stories means building. So the meaning of stories you build, right? So that as such is what we call moving through association. One thing leads to other things leads to other, and as such that is also not a problem. But sometimes story building, as I said, in 5 sentences you create a crisis or a catastrophe out of a small thing. And this is a very common tendency of the mind. That you go on building, and and every time there is a little imagination, and from that little more imagination, and little there more imagination. So I'll just give you an example. So a friend of mine, her son did not do well in math in the 9th grade. So the son is in the 9th grade. Now she tells him, you didn't do well in the 9th grade in math, so now the 10th is a very big exam. So now you will not do well in the 10th. So then you will not get into a good college. Then if you don't get into a good college, your career, you will not find a good job. And if you don't find a good job, you will be lost in life. She thinks she's motivating her child to work hard. In 5 sentences, she has doomed him. His whole life is out. His life is like, there is no chance for success. Do you understand? And we think that we are making the kids see the connection with the future, and we are making them see the repercussions. But what then happens is you do it to others, and we also do it to ourselves. Right? And so this is why it's a very common thing. So we have to check that. We have to stop this thing, because when it is making things catastrophic, there is a mental distortion which is called catastrophizing. What is catastrophizing? Small things, you make it into a huge catastrophe.
This means not just with a view to the future, it's also with a view to the past. So why did he say this, and how could this happen to me? And
yeah,
this is not just...
Absolutely, Christina.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What you're saying is absolutely right. This rumination. See, one thing, one day, Christina, somebody asked me this question, right? So when we live life, so many things happen to us, right? And many things are beautiful and very pleasant, but our mind keeps the pain, and it stores it, and it keeps ruminating, right? It doesn't give equal attention to pleasure and pain. It gives more attention to pain than pleasure. Pleasure you experience and you love it, but it doesn't get stored, and you don't ruminate, right? So somebody was asking me why. And look at this. There is nature here. Look at this. According to Vedanta, I'm giving Vedanta answer. And the Vedanta answer is, pleasure is natural. Natural means when there is no distortion, life does flow beautifully. When your mind doesn't interfere and tell you, oh, this is bad, this is like this is horrible, this should not have happened to me, life just flows. Things just happen, and they come and they go, and there is... So that means joyful and cheerfulness is very natural. And there is almost, when there is no interference with the mind, that is supposed to be the natural state. Now, the pain is artificial in the sense that it's created, right? Now, the universe is giving you, look at this, there is a mechanism in the universe that if there is pain, you have to free yourself from it, because that's not your natural state. So that's why you stay with it. But what we do is, instead of staying with it to solve it, we keep talking about it and we keep building on it and we make it into a catastrophe. So as such, thinking about it is not bad. We never give advice in Vedanta to let go, forget about it, because this is nature. Nature gives you that, hey, this needs attention. What you do need to do is use your mind to solve it. What we end up doing is we use the mind to ruminate and build up. So it's not about not thinking, but it's asking yourself, when I'm thinking about this, am I solving anything or am I making it big? Do you understand? It's not about, our solutions are all, don't think about it. Don't thinking about it is not going to do anything. You are working against the nature. That's what creates the pressure. Look at this. When your body is healthy, it's okay. You don't. The minute there is some hurt, there is focus. And why? Because that pain is not natural. So that means there is a signal in your brain, you need to do something about it, which is required. You need to do something about it to release yourself from it. So that our focus goes to either physical pain or mental pain is not a problem. It's a nature's creation. What is a problem is, look at this. If your focus goes to physical pain, but you make it more painful, is it helping? The focus goes there to release it. But suppose you are further making it a deeper wound, that is counterproductive. Mentally, we do the same. The mental attention goes here. It shows you your thinking is distorted. It is bringing you pain. But instead of using your thinking to bring back your thoughts in a healthy direction, we build on it and we make it huge. So therefore, whenever you have to deal with the mind, you have to be delicate, you have to be discerning, you have to be intelligent, you have to be very thoughtful in, we are not here trying to get this mind to behave like this. We are here to nurture the mind in a way that it can flourish. It can flourish, it can become bigger, it can become more wise, it is able to see the totality, it is not getting caught in the things. This is our attempt. So, you're absolutely right, Christina, that the mind has a tendency to either catastrophize future or go on ruminating on the past, and that is so much waste of energy. And as you waste that energy, all the potentials are not available. So for us, meditation is not about quietening the mind and making it silent and then feeling frustrated, I have thoughts. It is counterproductive. It's about nurturing the mind and making it, much more effective and skillfully making it effective. Right? And the thoughts are your greatest privilege. How does knowledge take place? Through thinking. So please don't, imagine for us in Vedas, what distinguishes human being from everybody else is our capacity to think. This is our privilege. Now, because the mind is very powerful, so either it can be used to figure very profound things, or it can be used to project, and it has that capacity also, and to take you to depression and meaninglessness. Now, if if your mind is producing dark places, what is the solution? To stop thinking? No. It is to slowly guide the mind in the right direction so that it can think wisely. It is like Swamiji used to say, oh, my hand has pain, let's cut it. So I won't have I won't have pain in my hand. Is this a nice solution? No. My thoughts are bringing me depression, let's stop thinking. This is as crazy as stopping to cutting the hand so that you don't have pain in your hand. We are not, please understand, we are not your own relationship with your mind. The mind is that which will take you to moksha. If at the very young, at the very beginning stage, you start saying, my mind is, I'm not the mind, I'm not the body, and I'm floating in some consciousness, God knows which consciousness. You will not use this mind effectively to see the truth. Mind is required. Every time I say something profound, the bell rings. Ishvara is with me. He said, yeah, she is telling the truth. Use it. It is your greatest gift. Use it. Make it refined. Make it subtle. Make it discerning. Make it wise. Very important. So the meditation is not stopping your thoughts, but it is making your mind wiser, more discerning, more subtle, more reflective, less crowded. That is the practice. Purification. So that means, what does it mean? That the associated thinking, how are you going to stop? I can tell you, stop associated thinking through association, which makes you catastrophize things and ruminate on the past. Stop it. How are you going to do it? In the practice, because one mantra is exactly the same as second mantra, what is done is curbing your tendency to build on anything. Do you understand? The first mantra is Om Namah Shivaya. What is the second mantra? There is no build up. Om Namah Shivaya. What is the third mantra? Om Namah Shivaya. So what it means is, you don't build through association, you remain. And over a period of time, this practice, what will it do to you? It will reduce, it will make your thinking more deliberate and less kind of moving and building and catastrophizing or ruminating. It's a very clever, this is the beauty of Vedanta. Nothing is severe, everything is subtle and small, but it's really powerful and it is transformative. You start doing it, it's not a big deal. What is the big deal? In 10 minutes a day, chanting something. It seems like almost nothing. But the power that it has over a period of time is huge. But we don't understand. We want instructions. Oh, do this for 10 minutes. That's how we learn. Somebody is telling you and you just blindly, do it. And then in the mind, what's happening? You are putting pressure. Nobody thinks about it. Nobody asks this. It's all to do. Nobody makes you aware. We give you list to do. And that's what people are comfortable with. Here, there is no list of to do. Here it is just increasing your sensitivities, your relationship with yourself. So that means Um, that is the second benefit. The third benefit is our whole identification is so much with our thoughts. For us, there is no difference between I am and the thoughts. So whatever the thought is becomes I am. So in that japa practice, what we do need to discern is that thoughts and I am are not identical. Thoughts are transient, they come and go. I am survives every thought. Until now, how many things you have thought of? And how many of those thoughts you recall? But you have survived all your thoughts. So what it means is that, that mistake with which we live, it costs us a lot. Look at this. I am sad is a transient thought, depending upon some memory or some external situation. How long does it last? For seconds. But when you convert it into I am sad, how long does it last? It becomes permanent. Permanent. Do you understand? This is something that you need to discern. It's about not to-do list. It's about increasing your awareness of reality. So that means, look at this. Yesterday's exercise was that the tree that you thought of doesn't stick to you, doesn't leave a permanent imprint. If it left a permanent imprint on you, right now when I'm looking at Catherine, I would be seeing tree because it left a permanent imprint on my consciousness. But your consciousness is always free. It doesn't, anything that you have thought of doesn't leave any imprint on your consciousness. This is the truth. Now, just as the tree did not leave an imprint, the mountain did not leave an imprint, anything that you thought of about I am. I am small, I am helpless, I am sad, I am angry. None of them have left an imprint on your consciousness. That's why your consciousness is right now free. Right now. No thought is capable of leaving a permanent imprint on consciousness. We are not trying to free consciousness from all the impressions. That's not the job. What we are trying to do is to recognize consciousness has never taken any quality, nirguna. This is my truth right now. And what does meditation do? Meditation makes you intimately see that thing. Mantra comes, mantra goes. In between two mantras, there is silence. Silence comes, silence goes. Neither your silence nor your thought. Who are you? Your consciousness, chit, in whose presence thoughts come. And absence of thought is called silence. We are not trying to achieve silence. We are trying to see the fact that I am Chit Swarupa, which is always free from thought and silence. That's what freedom is. It doesn't require any condition. Atma doesn't require any external condition for it to be free. Atma is already free, is Vedanta. Yes?
Yes, it's very serious.
It's very important. So therefore, what in that meditation, what we do is just when we are quiet, right? And when we are alert and we are not sleeping. That's why it's important not to sleep during meditation. Because a very important inner work has to be done. Right? Otherwise it's nice. Yeah, somebody is like, Surya's voice is so hypnotically calming, and it's like, yeah, I just go to sleep and it's so relaxing. And it's wonderful. It's relaxing, it's wonderful. But meditation is for you to do that inner work, not to go to sleep. So that means you need to see the relationship between chit, thoughts and silence. Right? The fourth thing is that, look at this, the mantra cannot be meaningless. Otherwise, any sound can do. Suppose Swamiji used to say, I'd ask you to repeat, I am, I am, I am, I am. It is no, I am has no meaning. It will do the same job. What will it do whenever your mind goes off? You bring it back. It will bring you focus. That you are repeating, I am, I am, I am. It will also cut the association. And it will also enable you to see that I am comes and goes, silence comes and goes, and I remain. It will do all three functions, but it will not bring Ishvara in your life. You need mantra which connects you to the cause of the universe. Because that sense of isolation that you feel, that sense, that hurt that we are all carrying within us, the healing which needs to be done, it only happens when you connect to the total and change your narrative. How do you change the narrative? Until now, your narrative is all about personalizing things. And what does it mean? Anybody's behavior is seen as a personal attack on you. My mother did not love me. My father said mean things to me. So it's all about the scars that relationships left on you, and you felt attacked, and you felt unloved, and you felt uncared for, and you felt your needs were not met. Now, without denying those events, please, this is very, very important. Don't deny those events because they were true. But without denying those events, bring the totality. And when you bring the totality, the personalization will reduce and the other nuances will increase. It is like, yes, she said this to, he or she, whoever said this to me, which did hurt me. Yes, and that was, I don't have to feel guilty about it. I don't have to feel sorry for it. I don't have to try to hide it. I don't have to try to justify it. I have to honor that truth that happened at that time. But I have to move on. I can't remain stuck there. And for moving on meaningfully, I have to create other possibilities. Don't tell yourself, my mother did not say it or she didn't mean it. That doesn't do the job. What you have to say is, I took it as lack of love, but perhaps it had some other meaning. I'll give you an example. A close friend of mine lived with this feeling for a long time, lack of love. because her mom used to tell her, I didn't want you. Now, for a child, for you, the universe is your parents. And when the mother says, I didn't want you, it's a rejection from the universe. And you live with a huge burden. So there was this whole life, the common narrative was, nobody loves me. Because look at this, mother doesn't love me increases and builds to nobody loves me. And I'm not love worthy. And nobody can love me. Do you understand how if you go on thinking and if you don't check the accuracy, the mind will go on building bigger stories. If you don't check it, if you don't check the accuracy. So that means now you live with that burden. And one day she was just saying that, I've tried so many things and I've not been able to. And the mother was ailing and she said, I need to close this whole big circle which I have been struggling with. So I said, okay, now if you have the courage, go and express this to her, but nicely and gently. Not like, oh, you did this to me and I'm carrying this hurt, and not with a blame, but just explain in a very simple way that this is what I heard and this is the burden that I'm carrying. And just express it and see what she has to say. And then she got the courage and she went and expressed this to her mom. And the mom said, you know what, that didn't, yes, I did say it, but it didn't mean that I didn't love you. It meant that I myself was struggling in this environment and I didn't know if I would be able to give you a safe home. So I didn't want you, didn't mean, the meaning of that was not that I don't love you. The meaning of that was that I thought I would not be able to give you the childhood that you deserve because I'm struggling. So the words remain the same. The meanings that you carry and how it impacts you, you can carry it for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And it can define the way you look at things. And not only it impacts your relationship with your mother, it then impacts every other relationship. Not everybody has an opportunity to actually go and speak to that other person, but we need to close the circles. If we don't close the circles, and if we try to jump it, it will stay with us. This is Ishvara's order. Anything that you have not dealt with will keep appearing and reappearing in your life. Not to punish you, but the universe is generous. It will tell you, hey, this needs to be taken care of. So it will come in front of you until you face it and overcome it. So that means even if you don't have a possibility to talk, as an adult, you can create multiple options. With your own thinking, yes, I heard this, yes, this happened, and and I was hurt. But now I am an adult and now I have a thinking capacity, and instead of directly seeing it as an attack and personalizing it, I can open up other possibilities. I can open up, maybe this person did not mean that. Maybe there were other issues. Maybe that person himself or herself was suffering from some pain. Maybe that person had their own unresolved issues which ended up expressing like that. It was not that the person was attacking me or unloving to me. When you depersonalize it and you understand different possibilities and you see human frailties and vulnerabilities, you calm down. you calm down. And organically and quietly, you just very calmly release yourself from all the big burdens that you're carrying within you. This is very, very important. This healing, the bigger picture, comes only from seeing the events, not through what I understood from a larger landscape. Without denying what happened, what am I doing? I'm increasing the landscape. And in that landscape, there are many other possibilities of what actually happened than what you think happened. Do you understand? So yesterday Christine asked, so what are you doing? Are you, there is a river that I see. She said, very interesting, right? Christina, so are you teaching me to swim in that river? That was very nice. I love that question. What are you doing? Metaphorically, right? I told her, yes, maybe I'm teaching you a little bit more effectively to swim in the river, but what I'm doing is, when you see only river, I'm showing you sky, I'm showing you birds, I'm showing you the trees, I'm showing you the whole picture. Am I asking you to do anything? No. But what am I doing? Your eyes only go on the river. But what is the reality? There is a river, but there is so much else. Am I creating anything new? No. I'm opening up your eyes to see the full picture. When you see the full picture, your perception of everything changes. Because you're not only concentrated on this, you have to include this, but this is not the only thing.
But I have to be relaxed to zoom out.
Excellent. So you need to stay with me as I'm doing that little job of expanding your mind. Simple things that I say, which if you allow your mind to absorb and think about it, it will. Your mind is super smart. If you don't close it, if you don't consciously kind of resist, it will do its own job. So when I was in Paris, I have a very close friend. Her mom passed away. And so on Vedanta family chat, there were a lot of people who were writing, sorry to hear. So I wrote to her, and she wrote back to me, and she said that, when I was studying with you, I had no idea that I would be able to deal with this loss with so much more composure. Now, in hindsight, I can see how much Vedanta study has helped me. At that time, you don't realize. Why? Because the mind, I'm expanding, I'm making it more discerning, I'm making it. So somebody said, it's almost like you are doing a neurosurgery and taking out all the darkness and making it see things in a totality, so that you yourself can free yourself. So yesterday Guntur asked me this question, which is a very important question. And what he asked me is, can I do this job on my own, or I need a professional? Of releasing all whatever is within me so that I can heal. And my answer to him was that if Because nobody knows your life better than you do. And therefore, if you listen to Vedanta, and if your mind, it is capable of healing itself. It is. Not everybody needs somebody else. But there are times that even if you try, you are stuck. That time it is good to ask for help, but try to do it yourself. Try to do it yourself, you are much more powerful than what you think. But what also is required is, your mind has a tendency to keep repeating certain patterns. You have to recognize this is an unhealthy pattern, that is awareness, and you have to stop it. That is your job. And after having stopped it gently, not harshly, redirect the mind to other realities. Don't stop that job of I've just stopped it. It is not complete. It's not completing the circle. The first job is to become aware that this is going off. The second step is to stop it. The third is to bring a much larger landscape of reality within which, without denying this, letting your mind see the same situation from a much larger perspective and open up different possibilities.
Nima, so often during the years of study I thought, why haven't I seen this before? I heard it and so often I thought it is so clear and so obviously, and I was running with my own bubble, and while hearing the words I understood more and more, and this clarity in this moment never goes away. So then healing happens also in me as a person, because of understanding why situation happens, how the universe works, and yeah.
Exactly. So you have to zoom out and see the totality. And in that totality, the intensity of this will reduce. And as you see other possibilities, other than what you have interpreted, and use it only as possibilities. Perhaps. Don't say, my mom did not mean it, because you don't know. Unless she says. Perhaps this is how I saw, but this is not necessarily the only way of looking at it. What it will release you. Really, it will release you.
Because if you do this work after this, it's more easy to talk about with someone else.
Excellent,
before you
Gunther.
write it, and then it's easier to talk with another one.
So that means one of the indicators, very good, Gunther, of wisdom is that you can talk about your vulnerabilities. Generally, we try to hide our vulnerabilities. We try to show ourselves in a wonderful light. That you are able to talk about your vulnerabilities with much more ease. No big deal. You can make little fun of yourself. It's not like, I have to be this perfect person. All these pressures, where do we create these pressures from? I can be a little silly at times, right? I can laugh with you and I can say all the silly things for a while, so what? That doesn't make me silly, because when I have to be serious, I'm super serious. That freedom you have to give yourself. Otherwise, you're caught in a role. You're caught in a projection. And then you put pressure on yourself. And it's unrealistic. So that means this healing work, the more you can actually, absolutely good, talk about your craziness without feeling ashamed. That means you are fine. This is why, comedians have learned this technique. What makes people laugh the most is when you joke about yourself and you tell anybody how silly you are. People laugh like anything. Why? Because they don't feel threatened. I'm not talking about you, and I'm not putting you down, and I'm not putting you down. I'm making fun of myself. And people find it hilarious. Why do people find it hilarious? Because they also see they all have the same craziness. And it's no big deal. But because, look at this, for us, the same thing is connected to so much shame, and you want to hide it and you don't want to show it to anybody else. But here is somebody who's talking about it and so freely and without any problem. What does it do? It takes away your own pressure. It's such a release. And Swamiji found it. I wish some of you were alive. You listened to him when he was alive, because he would talk about Vedanta, and they are some of the most profound. He was absolutely genius, and he would say something which is so true, and next minute he saw that everybody was super serious, and he'll start joking, and he'll make you laugh till your stomach hurts. I wish I had that ability, really. One thing I said, oh my God, it would be so cool to make everyone laugh. Because in that laughter, you give up all your loads. And that's when you become open. And that's when you absorb. You shed all your complexes. It's amazing. So that means, as a result of this healing, if you do this job of healing during meditation, what happens is, when you have dealt with things by creating other possibilities, seeing the totality, and it not take everything so personally, then what happens is you begin to close circles. You need to close circles. And then you find freedom. And what is the outcome of that? You become genuinely cheerful, genuinely enthusiastic, without putting up a show. It's not like you have to laugh every time. It's all artificial. It's not like nobody can be all the time laughing. It's not possible. But there is freedom, right? So that is something, you're free enough to dance through the drama of life and experience all the emotions and the totality, and be fluid and to be flexible, and at the same time be totally alive to what is going on. This has to be your mental state. Enjoy. So that means this is the outcome of healing. So now we'll do a practice. So we'll ask Surya to do this healing part of the meditation. Just give you a glimpse of what to say, how to do it, how to be gentle with yourself, and slowly. See, one thing is, healing is required in 2 or 3 areas. One is, over a period of time, based on how others behaved with you, you have developed a relationship with yourself. So you yourself can be very hard with yourself. Forget others. Highly self-critical, highly non-self-accepting. That is not to do with anybody else. That is your relationship with yourself. And you need to detect it and you need to release it. That is one job which needs to be done. The second job is, one person or any few people that you think that were source of a lot of pain for you. You need to heal. You need to heal with that person to the extent that you can recognize this happened, you can recognize how you felt, but it's not like today you're disturbed and it shakes you and it creates a lot of discomfort in you. So you can, so that is, you have to do that job with specific individuals with whom you felt you struggled. And the third is your relationship with the world. You have to heal that. World, according to Vedanta, is not something to be stayed away from. All that is here is Ishvara. Where will you find consciousness? Where the world is. You don't have to move away. There is no place when you move away from the forms. Where the forms are, that's exactly where intelligence is. Where the intelligence is, that's exactly where consciousness is. So, if you make the world your enemy, you can never go to consciousness, because consciousness is where the world is. The clay is where the pot is. The clay is not somewhere else. You can't say, I'm going to remove the pot and then I'm going to see the clay. So that means that world is, as I said, a place which gives you the possibilities of experiences. The mind belongs to the world. The body belongs to the world. Experiences belongs to the world. Teacher belongs to the world. Which part of the world you want to stay away from? Tell me. So that means that this uncomfortable relationship with yourself, uncomfortable relationship with others, and uncomfortable relationship with the world, all three have to be healed. Before you see something bigger. So this is the third part of meditation, which is healing yourself completely at 3 levels. So Surya will give you a glimpse of how does that meditation.